I am so grateful for the transformation that Jesus brought in my life. You know, I often find myself kind of like complaining during my hard stages, my low moments in my walk with Jesus. And, I just think, Lord, why am I in this situation right now? Why do I have to bear this difficult situation, Lord? But then I think about the times before I got transformed by Jesus. And I immediately, get hit by a sense of gratitude. You know, before Jesus, things were different. And as I think about my past, I get to be grateful for the transformation that Jesus brought in my life. No, I was complete different person. And you couldn't tell, by the appearances because it was all my personal experience and the people around me. Perhaps they didn't feel the transformation that I had in my life, but I really felt it. My whole life changed, my whole mindset changed when Jesus saved me, and I am grateful for it. You know, whenever I struggle with, a certain thing in my walk with Jesus, I just look back at and years ago when I was very distant from God. I didn't fully comprehend and mean what it meant to worship and obey Jesus at that time. And so I'm so grateful. I am so grateful because Jesus saved me and He put me in a position that, I couldn't be more thankful for. I'm so thankful for the people He surrounds me now that I'm saved with Jesus, and grateful for so many things that have changed. I mean, for instance, I just think about the past and I think about the people I used to surround myself with. I used to think, I used to surround myself with people that, with friends, with a friend circle that didn't bring the best version of myself, I believe. You know, um, Now that I think about it, my old friends, I'm still grateful to have them, to have met them in my life. But I knew that if I wanted to have a serious relationship with God, then we would have parted ways. And now I'm so grateful because I prayed for godly friends. I prayed for friendships that put Christ at the center, that revolved around Christ. And God answered my prayers. And, when I was transformed by Jesus, my whole mentality about, going to church, it just changed. Before it was just a heartless schedule, going to church every Sunday and just performing all these rituals without fully comprehending what was going on. But then I got transformed by Jesus, and at church everything changed. I started to really take, church service seriously, and I started to put my heart in it. It wasn't a, mindless exercise. It was devotion. It was true worship. And I knew that church day became probably the favorite day of the week because I got to put I get I get to put my heart in worshiping Jesus, and it's not a heartless ritual anymore. It's not a something that you just do without actually putting your heart in. It's something that you care about. You you have devotion towards, and it's just beautiful. I'm also grateful for this. And I am grateful because thanks to the transformation that Jesus brought in my life, I've also become more grateful. I'm grateful that I've become more grateful. Because before Jesus, I just would take so many things for granted. I you know, I don't know how to explain it, but before Jesus, I was just numb. I was numb without purpose. Just doing things because I find myself in the world, just letting time pass by, and I didn't actually understand the true meaning of things of life. But then Jesus transformed me, and now I'm so grateful because I value so many little things in my life that I used to ignore before I was transformed by Jesus. Simply my relationship with my parents, it completely changed when I got transformed by Jesus. Before Jesus, I used to have some troubles with my parents, and I used to ignore so many things, like the fact that they're working so hard for me and my future, the fact that they sacrifice a lot for me. I got saved by Jesus, and I become so much more grateful for my parents, my friends, and just life in general. It just makes you more grateful because you're aware that you are blessed by Jesus and by God. And so thankful for transformation that Jesus brought in my life, because now I know how to, approach certain situations without having to rely on myself. I can rely on an external thing without the compromise of my feelings, of my ego. I have a guider that actually gives wisdom for the things that I need to do in such situations, and that is the scriptures, and that is God through the scriptures. And I'm just thankful. And I believe that, of course, transformation doesn't stop here. Life with Jesus means being renewed and transformed every day, becoming a new creation, and just shaping ourselves and transforming in towards what Jesus was when he was here on earth. So yeah, I'm thankful, and I'm thankful for the transformation that Jesus brought in my life.